Well. Is it really happening? Can I get this thing moving? I have had so much trouble with my computer, but I think what happened yesterday was some updates for my drivers were needed. And here I am exposing Facebook. I have to promise not to show Facebook anymore when I'm doing live streams. But I thought this was exciting, and gentleman from the Netherlands or Holland, you might say, he gave me this, and this was okay. What happened? What is that? I can't. What does this mean? I can't move now? Okay, let me try that again. I'm sharing my screen. I'm gonna check and see if I have any chatters on my other device in a moment. But let's just get back to that. Now, why can't I move? This is crazy. Okay. So there's what it looks to me like it's 200 meters from here to here. So that's 600 meters. That's over half a kilometer. But if you, what is with this thing? Okay, let me just grab this just in case I lose it, because it was really difficult for me to pull it up. And is that gonna help me? Okay, let me try that. How is it always happening weird stuff at the last minute? I'm going to keep talking about this because I really don't want to bore the audience, which I really successfully have done. This so-called dam goes across over a kilometer here along a mountain near this, what looks like it's almost a half a kilometer wide river. So ancient river, dried riverbed. I got to go to another thing here because this is also something found by the same person. Okay, so obviously what's happening here, okay, this is different, and this is in China, but the same person showed this to me, and I don't want to start naming names just yet, but what it looks like in China is like this ancient, well, okay, that's not ancient, but some type of a modern day airport. Yeah, it looks like I won't be able to broadcast like this because it's just too slow. I thought that for sure. You can tell that this is some type of a flying device here in China. But what's really bizarre about this whole thing, I'm just going to talk slower. See if anybody's watching. Look at that thing. What is that? You see the shadow? It looks like half an airplane. But then you see what looks like a wingspan sticking out. And if those are wings, they're frail and fragile wings. Okay, it's just amazing how suddenly things... Yeah, thank you, Hayes Shaded, for telling me I should record the video first in high quality. Yeah, obviously, if this keeps happening, I'm going to have to. The sad part about it, though, is that I paid for this high-stream internet just so I could do it. Okay, let's see if I can have some sound. And if I hear sound, then I'll know things are... The sad part about it, though, is that I paid for this high-stream internet. Perfect. Just so I could... Perfect. I have one viewer. Welcome, one viewer. Thank you for your thumbs up. I wanted to show you this China place. Now, don't be... Okay, I'm going to go over this really quickly because I don't have time for this. The thing that looks like a helicopter pad here is actually what I feel is a complex of tents. But you can see these older boat-shaped tents that are super old. And over here in this corner, those are old. Now, that's definitely not ancient. But look at what's going on over here. Now, that blew my mind. Because how long does it take for that type of water erosion to form across something? Look at that. So you have a whole bunch of stuff going on here in China. I'm going to go ahead and share this to my Ancient Insights page. Yeah, I stole the name from Bright Insight, kinda. But it's Ancient Insight. It's at Ancient Insight. And I'm going to share it. So if you want to find these links, you can go over to my at Ancient Insight on Facebook. And I would go there, but the problem is that you have to have a really high-speed internet connection to do that. Now, apparently this was done on a YouTube video, and then my friend from the Netherlands told me about it. Okay, let's go to page. Thank you very much. Oh, so this really does slow down when I do a live stream. And that's sad because when I was not broadcasting, it was really, really fast. Okay, ancient airport. I'm going to start trying to put tags on here because like I said, when you share it over to Facebook, it doesn't show anything. Ancient airport. No, I don't want to tag Taoyuan airport. Yeah, I'm going to show you one more thing about this ancient airport that's just going to blow your mind because this thing is really old. And it's like maybe we say it's about only 50 years old, what we're seeing, which is hard to believe because this looks like it's more than 50 years old. How old is World War II? And World War I is 100 years old now. So let's see. Yeah, can't zoom out. Okay, well, I shared it. Let me just get that out of there. Get out of the way. Okay, now get this out of the way. Now watch, when I click this, it'll go far, far away. Some of the place. There we go. Okay, getting back into this picture here, you see this weird 100-year-old or maybe older airport. But look at this over here to the left. What is going on there? Remember, that's 1 kilometer long. And you can see some type of ancient erosion going across there. Yeah, I do have, okay, Joe, thank you for your comment. Thank you very much for your thumbs up. I do have maxed out RAM. I built this computer. I maxed out my RAM, 32 gigabytes of RAM. Now, it's a 4-year-old motherboard. It does have its issues, and I do have a gigabyte mother card in there that costs $100 US here in Taiwan. So, I believe that maybe it has to do with the live streaming and the connection, but I do have a brand new 120 megabits per second connection. Over here on the right, you're going to see some more weird shapes. So I suggest you go check this out. I'm luckily prepared this time. Somewhere way over here. Now look at that. What made that? And then you've got right in the middle of it this kind of weird flattened out ancient, I mean, come on, this is like 2 kilometers tall long and then 1.5 kilometers, a kilometer wide. And when you go in there, it seems like it might be following the rivers a little bit, these little tiny creeks, but just bizarre stuff like this. Look how clear that is in the middle of nowhere. And yeah, very weird. Thank you. You can see some tire tracks on top of that, but okay, that's the China one. But the reason why I wanted to show you is this ancient dam. Now, this was locked up. I don't know why it was locked up. It's very bizarre, but I'm going to grab I'm going to grab this one. Okay, because it's in share mode. That's why. It's in share mode. So I got it out of share mode. And I think, okay, is that going to let me move around? Yay. Okay. So now this one I also already shared. Well, that might make sense on the China thing. It's just something bizarre that I wanted to interlude with. Let's zoom out. That ancient dam I showed at the beginning of the video. Okay, when I say ancient dam, please understand that I look here and we see this riverway along what looks like the north side of the eye. Let's take a look here. There's the Richat Structure. So it's not really on the north part of the mountain. And I did have a friend of mine saying this was an ancient lake. And obviously it's flat. It was an ancient lake. But when you look at this, maybe this is where okay, here's the big question. This black line here, which is higher? Which is higher? Is it what we see on the left or is it what we see on the right? I got to get into Google Earth and confirm it. But to me, I'm seeing this riverway going along the north side of what we see as the Richat Structure, going maybe along with the ancient Taman Reset River and exiting out. But there are some obstacles in the way here, not saying they were there 15,000 years ago, which is when I would say that if this were Atlantis, there would be an ancient complex of riverways around it. I don't believe that the land rose or fell due to the shoreline being the same shape as the mid-Atlantic ridge. You know, you can see where this cape was all the way out in the middle of the ocean. And you can see where this cape was, this whole piece right here. You can kind of catch this whole piece when you go out here to the mid-Atlantic ridge. It's like, well, there it is right there. If you can see this shape here, and it's almost the exact same dimensions, and here along this part here, it's just too similar for it to have changed much. It's scooted over there in all the millions of years. And here, when we go back in, we can see that not a lot has changed here. I mean, these islands, it's questionable how they appeared. Maybe they were actually, when the major floods came and water rushed out of here and sand rushed out of here, maybe that's what created these islands. Or maybe there's actual bedrock there that caused the islands to kind of separate from the movement of the continent as it the tectonic plates moved. I hope that sound is okay. I only have 2 viewers now, and I'm curious. I guess I'm not running the video, so I can't tell, but just go ahead and chat with me if there's any problems. Okay, my friend from Belgium also had this thing he showed me. I don't want to spend a lot of time because that one is kind of hard to see, but I did save the links, and what it's showing is possible complex waterways. Thank you very much, Joe. It's kind of showing some complex waterways leading down to the Senegal River complex, and that's an existing river complex, but I do believe that if you zoom out a little bit, you can see the line here. I think what you see here, this line may have been a river. It's a mountain ridge. The river may have run along it, but it doesn't even mean anything because these 2 points, they can just come straight down here over to the actual Senegal River, which exists now. So it just, I feel like that with the canalways that I've shown you, and I'm going to show you one in a moment, we do have some connection. Okay, that's that China thing. I finished looking at that. I'm going to go to the next one here. Okay, that's actually another weird ancient airport in that China thing. I don't understand these weird airports, but I can't really say that they're more than that. It's just that there's not a really good system. What you see here is the canal that Michelle Chen, did I get the right name this time? I think I did. Michelle Chen showed me a long time ago, and I just freaked out because look how, I mean, I saw it, but I didn't look close enough to realize that's a canal, or say it's ancient, say it's a natural riverbed. If that's true, how come it's so straight? It's 20 kilometers long, and it goes straight from the Richat Structure straight down to those other areas that I just showed you. It does kind of get covered up with sand over here, but it's like, but you can see it continues, and going back down into it, you can see it's consistently 20 meters wide, and it's a nice clean cut. It's not like water. It just doesn't look natural to me when it comes to all these other natural waterways. Like I have another one I'll show you. This one here, if that's it, I think that it's kind of a little bit too natural. No, what this is something else. What you see here, this is in Bing Maps. And so when you see this riverway here, that it's like you'd never see those in the Google map pictures, do you? Because this is the eye right here, and you can see how there's an actual natural waterway. Now, when you back out, it disappears, see? But when you go in there, you can see the natural waterway going right through there over to Guadane. So let me zoom back in so it reappears. I think that's really interesting because that means that if there is, people follow the water. And so this is the places you want to excavate along the waterways. Now, I also have demonstrated this area here probably had a ring of water at one point in time. I'm saying if it were Atlantis, okay? I can zoom out a little bit. What I meant to show you is this mountain ridge here and how the river probably hooked out in front of it. So I believe that if you could follow this down, you're going to see some connections between these, what look like man-made canals up here in the top right. Yeah, I think it all happened above sea level. I think that we were in Africa 15,000 years ago. Let's say 20,000 years ago is where you see mainstream media showing shorelines change. So maybe 20,000 years ago. Now this one was very close to the concentric circles. And look how clearly even that is. My question is it a fence line? It's 20 right now. This little, I call that the inch, right? The unit of measurement is 25 meters. 50 feet is almost like a half inch for me on my screen here. So if this is 50 meters, I mean, that means that, well, we can zoom out. You can kind of follow this. Is it a fence or is it some type of a weird ancient? I wouldn't say ancient here because of the sand coverage, but my friend from Holland pointed out this weird shape it goes around here. It's either a fence line or some type of a moat. You can see it go all the way up here and come down. He questions what this structure was. I say that this area has a lot of sand from major flooding activity over the last few thousand years. And if you can't see the edge here of the concentric circles, then I think that, and by the way, that's a large alluvial fan right there coming out of that area. We do know that this area is lower than that area. I question myself every day when I look at this material. I don't believe that the continent of Africa raised up. I mean, mountains do increase in height. This is another little fence line. Those are modern day buildings. You've got a little fence line, kind of hard to see here. And I don't want to spend too much time because I think it's modern day, but right there. Yeah, I tried to prepare all this, but it still didn't help. So I'm going to have to start doing videos offline. It's raining outside. I've got the lights are flickering, so maybe this is going to finish automatically without my choice. Now what we're looking at here is just nothing too big, but the thing that I got is that line is totally horizontal, east-west. Now here you can see it's not perfectly horizontal, but it's almost horizontal. And that's just going around the eye, nothing special. I'm going to keep moving here. There's a couple of other structures, and then we're going to go back and look at that dam one more time. See, like this little thing here, is it an ancient canal that was created to meet in with this riverway, or is it just a natural striation in the stone? And I think that this one is probably a good example of natural, but that line does go on a long way. And if you look, you can see that the sediment striations here and right there, those also exist. So could that have been a man-made canal that met up with some river? I wouldn't bet a lot of money on that. But this is that area down below south of the eye that I say was leading to the Senegal complex. And that 20 kilometer long one meets up with this river and then just goes straight up, and you can see it start. Oh, no, I'm sorry. This is, well, where are we? Let's just back out and see. This is north of the eye, isn't it? No, it's where I said. It's where I said. And like I said, that little thing is going over to that 20 kilometer long one right there. So I was right. And there's the ones that I zoomed in on earlier that went down. This is, if you don't know where we are yet, I'll zoom out a little farther. You can always see, hopefully, the link right there and search it for yourself. There's the 20 kilometer one right there. So as I'm saying is we've got proof of an ancient river on the north edge and the south edge of the eye, both of them going towards the ocean. And if you wanted to get to the ocean, you'd have to get over this little lip right here, and then you're home free, going straight to Nouakchott, which is the capital of Mauritania. Okay, that's what I was trying to show you yesterday, Joe, and I'll show you right now since you brought it up. I'm going to back out. As I just mentioned, getting over this little hump or whatever this obstacle in the mountains is here, these are the Adrar Mountains. But right up here is what's called Atlas Major, or the Atlas Mountains Major, the major part. And then the Atlas Mountains Minor go across the top of Africa. So I always kind of thought that the top of Africa was the thick mountains, but according to this is the Atlas Mountains right here. And I want to tell you a few weird things I've seen. If you see this dark spot right here, there are some canals in this area that are all dried up. And if you follow the ancient Taman Reset River, I got to check, it comes right out here. I just showed you a waterway with an ancient dam right there. I'm going to look at it again before the end of this video. Thanks to my viewer that gave me the link, I'm able to present this information to you. This looks like it could have been even a big, huge water-filled area. You know, I really have to get in with like a Google Earth and look at the altitudes and sea levels of all this area. But I really feel that you'd have to get over that to get to the ocean, and you see that right about here. So I really think there was a canal that went straight up here to the ancient eye, and maybe it was even a riverbed right here. You can see on my ancient map videos. Yeah, you're right. I know what you mean about that. I did actually notice that before, the tumuli, but they're not in this. Are they in the right direction? You know, those tumuli pointing up there towards like Alaska or something. I got to double check that, but that's a good point. If the tumuli direction, well, as Anthony Tunstall was saying when he collected those links, he doesn't think that they're ancient burial mounds. What he thinks they are some type of water directionality complex. So the tumuli are still a question, you know. Oh, well, thank you very much for your comments, Joe. It's really keeping me motivated here. I know I don't sound it. I want to make sure, if you didn't see the video yesterday, you follow the Atlas Major Mountains up, and this is where you get to what I believe is the ancient Lake Maghreb. And the ancient Lake Maghreb has a riverway that went north out of it. It's right there. It also had a riverway that went out of it on this edge right here. And what not up here, but down here. So that, if you believe in maybe that the Tenamore crater, which is located right here, right about here, went off, then that water could have spilled right through. Or if you're talking flood myth, you're talking a lot of rain. You know, water can come from rain. And by the way, that tumuli symbol has got to be one of humanity's oldest symbols. I don't know how old they are. The ones that I found in Morocco with the double erosion evidence going over it, one was a major riverway taking away a complete tumulus, and the other one was another alluvial fan coming over it. It sounds like you probably saw that video, Joe, and thank you for watching so much. It really motivates me when you make reference to my previous videos. By the way, is the rain loud? I could probably shut the window, but I don't think I want to. It is raining outside really hard right now in Taipei. We've got just basically these tumuli may be the oldest symbol. Morocco is where they found the almost 300,000-year-old bones. Was it 200,000, 180,000? Well, I think this is going better. Let's see how the, you know, it is a connection, and I was challenging it yesterday. I'm going to go through a few more things that I had opened up. If you don't know what this is what looks like the California Aqueduct. It's some type of an ancient, but very, very symmetrical. And I say ancient because it gets covered up by all this dirt. I mean, when you back out of there, you see that. This is up in the corner of the eye. And it seems like it's connecting something from here to here. I mean, and by the way, that's not the only one you see. If you've watched my previous videos, you know where this is. Michelle Chen pointed out the circle. You see this giant symmetrically diametered curve. which it's actually a piece of a circle there. And then below it, this weird canal that's going along the southern edge of the eye, which I believe would probably show if you followed it and maybe dug it up. I don't know how deep it is. I really don't have a depth here. I don't have any depth to rely on. But if you're following this little canal down to the concentric circles along this eye, there must be something under the sand. But I don't believe this sand is 15,000 years old. I think the sand came, well, maybe it is. Okay, this sand right here, let's say the sand is the last cataclysmic flood. 12,800 years ago is when things started to defrost because maybe another comet hit. But this is the age when Plato mentioned 12,800 years ago. He said that the mud was so thick, don't even speak of mud anymore. Well, this looks like mud filled up all these canals, right? I'm going to just keep moving on. This is another, what looks like an ancient canal. We got WAM, World Alternative Media, going to Mauritania, doing a video in Huadain. But that's not what we need, man. Not what we need. We need videos of this. We need videos of these canals. These are what we need. This is what's driving me nuts. We need to get there. Okay? Now, you can see these coordinates on your own, but I want to try to back out so you don't have to go and look them up. So try to pay attention to where we end up. Look, that canal goes all the way across to an ancient riverway that opens up and goes into this Richat structure. Well, okay. Let me be clear. I'm very confused about depth. Is this part higher than this part? I kind of feel like this part, the brown part, is higher than the blue part. I'm very confused here. But I do know that this canal goes all the way across there, and that's about 4, 5, 6 kilometers, and ends up in this river right here, perhaps going out that way or perhaps going that way. I'm very confused. Let's keep moving on here because I have talked about this, but I do want to kind of update you with some stuff. Okay, now this is something that was new. This line here, it's some type of a, okay, Occam's razor. It's modern day man-made. Okay, what is it? It must be a fence. Occam's razor says it's a fence. However, you know me, that thing goes on for kilometers and kilometers around this whole ancient lake bed. By the way, you've got that structure over here too. Oh, okay. So again, that little, we see this same thing over in another bed. I'll show you. I'm going to back out again. I didn't realize where I was just now. I kind of, I'm flying a little blind here. Yeah, you definitely need a dune buggy if you're going to go there. That's exactly what you need. You need enough gas. You need to be able to carry enough gas to get you 100 kilometers. And I believe that you need to have 2 people. Okay, what I was saying is that those lines that you see there, you also see a similar pattern of fencing or ancient walls in that so-called lake that I see here. And I call it a lake because it looks like the residual alkaloids you see that when a lake dries up. And you have to be honest, you kind of see that happening here. I've zoomed into that. I don't think that's an ancient wall. The one over here, let's look at it again right now because I don't want to keep people waiting. Oh, I guess I'm going to keep people waiting. Let's hope oh, that's the China right there. If that's the China, then I messed up. Okay, I kind of messed up. I zoomed out too far. Now, can I zoom back in? Where are we? I think I have to go back up and find the little thing. Not that. Not that. Where is it? It's right here. Yeah, there it is. Okay, so again, when we zoom in here, we see some type of a dried lake area or water area here. I believe that this is higher than down there. But what you see is a river, an ancient river, coming away from it and then going towards the ocean. are actually going towards an obstacle that we were calling the tumuli majoris, right? But look at this thing. When you zoom in, you see very clearly this thing going across the river. Now, why do you need a dam in modern time when you don't have enough rain to dam up? So this looks like a dam. It looks like a wall going across. So we call that a levee, right? And you've got a breach right there, a breach. Okay, this is modern day. This is modern day. I forgot about this. So you've got a modern day levee going across this ancient river, but look how wide that riverbed was at one point in time. And then you've got this work here. Okay, well, maybe I have to be honest. Maybe I'm not as excited as I was because I forgot about the modern day part. But look how ancient that is. That river, I'm talking about the river now. That levee could be modern day. You've got a breach going around this side. Now, maybe this is a lot higher than the middle, so maybe modern day doesn't care about that so-called breach. And you've got what looks like it is something pulling water along this, like a little canal. Let's take a close look at that. So we call that a spillway, right? When you've got a dam and you've got a place up here where if it really does get that high, the water flows someplace away from the road, right? So this is a spillway right here. Okay, but where does the spillway go? Oh, sorry, Joe. I don't know which curve you're talking about. You mean the what I'm looking at right now? Well, what happened to it? It just kind of disappears. Let's zoom right in here. And that's as close as we can get. Well, why would you even have a spillway? Why do you even need a dam right here? Okay, so the only thing I can think of is they're collecting water that does come here. They're grabbing it here. They're pushing it this way, or maybe they're collecting it in a pipe, and then maybe this is a pipeline, and it's going somewhere, right? Where is it going? They're collecting all this little tiny bits of water, and they're taking it someplace. Where are they taking it? Okay, anyways. Well, I'm really happy that this thing has gotten as good as it did today. We're going to have to listen to the quality. This is the Mare Man, M-A-R-R-E-E. I just want to point this out. This guy's like a perfect male proportion with the junk is kind of not, I kind of interested in looking at his junk because I kind of want to see how big is his junk. His junk is 200 meters. His junk is a his junk is a bunch of squid. Oh no, his junk looks pretty good actually. His junk looks pretty good. All right, so yeah, his junk is 50 meters wide. But how do they make this Mare Man? These are ridges. These aren't roads. These are ridges. How did they do this? And that Mare Man is over 1 kilometer long. So how did they get so perfect with these proportions? I guess if you're going to grid out a picture, if you're going to use a grid, it's possible. Anyways, backing away out from his junk, I just wanted to show that to you. Let's find out where this is in the world. The Mare Man. That is located in where? I forgot. I thought it was like Asia, but yeah, so this connection really does. You know what I should try to use is Streamlabs. Streamlabs can probably Lake Erie. This is in the United States? No. Where is this? This is in a desert located in, wow. Wow, where are we? I'm still curious. Oh. That's in the middle of Australia. Okay, well, that doesn't, you know what? That could be modern day. Sorry, could be modern day, right? I'm not going to try to pretend that can't be modern day. These are just some maybe burial mounds or some other type of tumulus. Looks like it's on top of the mountain. I just thought I'd show you that. Something that I had in my ancient insight page. I almost don't want to wait for it, but oh God, let's hurry up. Let's do it. Let's get it. Let's click on the map. We'll change over to the map. There we go. We're still not going to find out where that is, right? We'll zoom back in. Okay, I don't even care about that because it's on my ancient insights page. It's nothing special. It's just some houses and some what looks like tumulus, some other grid formation, something that looks like it could have been some ancient canal system, maybe. And that would be located, wow, yeah, zoom, zoom, zoom. This is a Google map. Google Maps faster, right? Let's go back over and see where we can find the other one. Ah, see? So that was those so-called burial mounds right there in kind of the mountains over the eye. So, guys, I'm almost done with this video. My next step is to try to figure out where, okay, where's that? That one was, forgot where we were. We were just looking at something, and I zoomed out, and now I got lost, but that was it. All right. Another Bing map. 2 more just to look at stuff that I've probably already talked about. Okay, this is on the, this is like a little area I showed you at the beginning of this video. It's kind of that area that goes around. I think it's some type of fencing. But at the same time, why is it there in the middle of nowhere? I guess the reason I can understand these, I don't want to call them lake beds, but these alkaloid mineral rich beds of puddle beds. You know, over here, I don't know if that's a lake bed. I guess it must be where the water built up. And then over here, you've got one right in the center. You've got a lot of this white color throughout the concentric circles, especially when you look at the Bing map. But here's the riverway right here. So, you know, you're talking about 1 kilometer is an inch here. So that's like 3 kilometers away. And then you've got another area. I guess you've got, if there's flooding, and when was the last time we had any flooding? You've got a buildup of water here. Probably water that was part of the canal system that went to the ocean years and years ago. This looks like an ancient levee going across an ancient riverway. Okay. If that's true, that's 25 miles long. The last one. Yay, last one. I thought this was interesting. So what you see here is the sand that's coming from the ancient Lake Maghreb. But what you have are these weird, like, bedrock peek-throughs where you can see the underlying stuff. Like, if that's the sand is on top of that, what is that underneath? Now, those could be alkaloid puddles where water formed and they created this really hard, solid layer of alkaloids and minerals. But at the same time, this is going along the south side here. Could it be some type of ancient cement peeking through? We call that the desert, oh, what do they call that? The desert, no, not cement. The word I'm looking for, I just slipped my mind. All right, we're finished with today's video. Thank you so much. I'm going to kind of back out of here and maybe go back to that original picture that started this whole thing. Let's go to the China one, because this dam here does have modern day stuff going on. But why they would be collecting water here, and where are they sending the water? I mean, is it like the California aqueduct goes from the Colorado River over to Los Angeles? I forgot where it drains. I should get some more information about that. But if you're talking about the Temen Reset Riverway going out here, right out there, you certainly could have had a complex of canals that intertwined with it, especially a little bit higher up into the altitude right there. So we know that these hard pieces of bedrock haven't moved in millions and millions of years. This mountain plateau was dragged across the continental shelf. Graham Hancock says we should be checking out this continental shelf right here. Check out this continental shelf. Probably a good idea. check out the sand areas going along the bottom of the eye. Probably a great idea. Look at these ancient canals. Well, I don't know about, okay, I believe that everything we see on the epidural layer is not 15,000 years old. It's been rained on a little bit. I think that the Sahara Desert's not 15,000 years old. I think the Sahara Desert's probably a good 7,000 years old, 5,000. We see maps made of 500 years ago when this was a river still going up into the hills, and here as well. And we would see two rivers on these ancient maps. So when we talk about these rivers, they're post-Atlantis rivers. These rivers were around after Atlantis. If you had major flooding that filled those rivers with sand and other stuff, then those riverbeds is where the gold is. Gold is the heaviest metal. So you know there's gold in them rivers. And you also know if there's any megalithic evidence from Atlantis, it's probably also in those rivers. I don't really see any ancient temples. We do have the henge, but I wouldn't say that that's 15,000 years old. It could easily be more modern day because there's no way to test it. But what we do know is that humans have been in this area for over 100,000 years. I'd say that those northern Moroccan tumulus are definitely signs of human activity 30,000 years ago. If you have flooding, then the mountains are going to get covered for a short time, but that doesn't mean that they're going to hit the mountains as hard as they're going to hit the valleys and the riverways. Thank you, Joe. Have you seen my video called Ancient Maps of Atlantis? I was calling it Houdain. Were you the one that told me that Houdain was Houdain? I do believe that Houdain is shown with rivers going right up to it. And because of that, that means that the riverway must have been this one, because Houdain is here. And if you're going to have a river on the north side, which I believe there was, you're also going to have to go over a mountain before you get to the city of Houdain. And this is a mountain that's going, that right now, it's 100 kilometers. So from here, which is where Houdain is, to over here to the other side of the mountain or the other side of this obstacle, whatever that is, there's something significant about this whole area. If you go look at this dark circle, we're going to go in there right now. Go into that dark circle, you'll find there's other more ancient canal systems that are going around here. Yeah, they're on the maps for sure. They're on the maps. Some of those maps, I believe, came from 500 years old, because you've got a bunch of maps that show things that we're not supposed to see. Okay, so what we see here is that's the, what is that? That's the edge of the country. So ignore that. That's not important right there. And what we see here is a road. You see this dark thing, but when you zoom into it, it kind of clears up a little bit. And you can see some kind of a weird, like almost like an old ancient lake bed. And you can see these weird canal shapes going around it. That's a road. So you've got a couple of weird canal shapes here. When I say canal shape, it's like parallel lines that look like they're full of sand. And one of those canals actually goes around the top. Let's look at this one right here, because it looks like it's a road from a distance. But when you zoom into it, you can see it's a little bit more than a road. It's like, it looks like some type of weird carved canal. It's not really a road, is it? Is that a road? No, it's not. I mean, it looks like you've got a path along the side of it. So I think it was Michelle Chen that gave this to me. And it's definitely not a road. And if it is, look at what I think it is. It's a canal that's full of sand, because of how parallel those two ridges are. If it's not that, then maybe it's just a hill. But if it is a hill, it's a very steep one. And you know what that says to me is that it could, if it's a hill, a steep hill, maybe it's some type of a weird canal that's been full of sand. I need to get Google Maps in there and look at it from an angle. But I don't even think it's that good, right? Google Maps isn't going to be this precise. This goes on for miles and miles. Let's zoom out a little bit. Yeah, luckily I didn't follow that. You've got a road right here. The road is going through the mountains, and there's some kind of weird circle there. That we better look at that. This is Mauritania still, or is this Morocco? I'm not sure. You can follow this weird canal thing all the way over here. Now look at that. You've got some kind of a structure where it meets up maybe a previous dwelling where somebody had a boat and they sailed home. Is that a hill? There's a modern day house right there. And you get some modern day ridges. Or are they modern day? I mean, if that's modern day, I mean, it's not like those other, like that looks like it was done with a, wow, a giant bulldozer, right? So you've got, this is bulldozings here. But that ridge over there, that's really, really, okay, now you've got quite a prominent shadow now on that. Okay? So that's clearly a ridge that has a shadow on the other side. So, and that's clearly bulldozings, but tiny little roads together. I mean, this is 25 meters wide inch. So that's, I don't know even how they get on the other side to do that. There must be a little road or something. But when you look here, you don't see that modern day abrasiveness from the bulldozer. Like you can see maybe a bulldozer did something here. But you think that that guy really did all those miles and miles of ridge? What is that? Some type of a levee? I don't know. He goes on for miles and miles, and it's not a road. It's a ridge, and it turns right here. Turns here, and it goes back down on the other side of the city. So here's the city right here, and it goes past the city, and it goes way, way down here. Okay, I just wanted to let you see that since you reminded me. Yeah, you can see Graham Hancock mentioned in the Amazon, now that we have been deforesting the Amazon and we've been doing more analysis of the ground there, we see ancient square circles together. I forgot what he called them, but the way he described them, it was easy to understand. Circles, and some of them have been squared, and that shows ancient civilizations in the Amazon. Before Africa was, the Sahara Desert was a desert, it was also, basically everybody knows that the dustification of the Sahara Desert has been feeding the Amazon with nutrients for thousands and thousands of years. Okay, getting a little tired of talking here. I'm talking off the cuff. I don't use a script. Thank you for staying. I've got 10 people. Wow, I can't just walk away if I have 10 people. Last chance to ask any questions. Thank you so much. Let's see what the video, if it's going to show me. I've got 10 people. Wow, I can't just walk away if I have 10 people. There you go. See, I can hear myself. Well, I've got a good connection. It seems like things have been working out pretty well. I'll probably try to do a few more of these. To me, even if the concentric circles aren't what Plato described, even though Graham Hancock says it's one major coincidence, if the timeline for the cataclysm that really occurred 12,800 years ago compared to the cataclysm that Plato mentions 12,800 years ago aren't the same ones, well, in that case, maybe this is just an ancient civilization. I do believe Atlantis is all these places. Here by Cuba, here, the Andros Islands, we can find those grid marks. Bing shows them. You can see weird ancient grid marks in the ocean. I don't know what those are. I can't believe that that was ancient civilization because the mid-Atlantic ridge right here shows where the continental continent has started to divide, but that doesn't mean that we didn't have a major rise and fall of land. I could be wrong about that. We did have some major rises and falls in the water levels, sea levels, but only 400 meters. It's hard for me to believe that. I mean, we do see a lot of stuff going on here. So I think that Atlantis has existed for hundreds of thousands of years. When we say Atlantis, we're talking about ancient civilization, that the ones that made the megalithic structures that go around the world, Easter Island, Egypt. You can see one here in Peru. You can see one in Easter Island. It makes a perfect circle around the globe. I sometimes wonder if that was a previous equator before the world was knocked off its axis. Do I believe that the Adrar Mountains were at a lower level, closer to sea? Not really, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they did increase to make all that water go away. But I think that the desertification of the Sahara isn't because of an increase in continental shifting or rising. Also, there's that one road I just learned about. There's an ancient road here. You got to check that one out. I've shown you pictures of them before, but I'd never really realized what it was called, this weird road. I think it's around here someplace. It's super long. So maybe I'll make that in my next video. Thank you very much. Have a great day. I do want to keep my promise. If any of you do happen to see the video where I show the books I've written in the past, I will give you a copy. The first person to Patreon me with a significant amount will get both copies. I don't care where you are in the world. If you don't give me a lot of money, I'll give you one copy, but I don't care where you are in the world. I'm going to give it to you. And also, if you want to go to Amazon.com to read it tonight, you can, but I won't get that money. And the money I will get, if you want to, what was the other thing I was going to say? Oh, I forgot. There was another way to get me money. Oh, yeah, super chat me. Super chat me. Now, I should have mentioned that at the beginning of the video because I'm about to end this video right now. Yeah, if you super chat me, now you can't do it here because I'm about to log off unless you're super fast. Super chatting is a great way to get me money. I don't really like it too much because Google takes 30%. So I really don't want you to make a major money movement with super chatting. But, you know, if you're a rich person and you want to give me $100, give me a $150 super chat. I'll give you both books. I've even got the special edition hardcover, which I'm waiting to do a video on. So super chat me. I'm not going to give away the hardcover for that price. No, maybe. If you do it now for $150, I'll give you the hardcover of my book. My first book. It's the last hardcover I've got. It's a great copy, and I do want to give it to somebody who deserves it. Have a great day. I'm no longer Google hanging out. So that's the end of this. Thank you for watching, and I will try to get more pre-done videos soon, but I got to watch this video and see how the quality is. Now that I've got the high-speed internet connection, I'm going to be able to do videos like I want to do them, hopefully. Have a good day. There's 12 people watching, but I don't have any questions. So, computer update. Yeah, my computer really messed me up. Oops, sorry about that. Sorry about this. I'm going to get out of there. So I reformatted my whole operating system. I reformatted the whole operating system, and I just put what I need on here to do what I'm doing right now. Of course, Google Chrome is very important. I think Google Chrome is a bandwidth-heavy user. I got to get something. I guess downloaded programs would be better. So maybe I should probably get one of these encoding platforms such as Twitch, or I don't know. But all I can say is that it's oh, here we go. We got some. Oh, finally someone covering these. Myself found lots of them. Imagine you are seeing ocean and islands. Well, if you sounds like you just tuned in, children of Adam. I'm about to end this video right now, children of Adam, but I do thank you for your comment and your thumbs up. I do believe there's a vast network of walls, and actually, if you look a little closer at some of those walls, they're canals. You have to go back and watch this video one more time. Hey, Shaded, thank you for your comments yesterday. Correction. Oh, I'm getting a lot of people. The Amazon was a garden. The Mayan used terra preta. Deronius, thank you. Concretion. Thank you, Joey. Now I know. I guess those chats didn't pop up when you chatted on my device. Yeah, there was a word. If I figure it out, I'll put it in the comments. I was just watching a really interesting video. It talked about the desert floor, right? The desert floor and how it becomes the I don't want to say concrete. I don't want to say cement. I don't want to say, but the floor, the floodplain, you know? Okay, so let me address, yeah, Tenemor crater triggered the draining event. Joe, I agree. Thank you for your comment there. I agree that had to do something, right? Oh, finally someone covering these. Myself found lots of them. Imagine you are seeing ocean and islands. Okay, so children of Adam, I just wanted to say that I want to just say that the edge of Africa is still the exact same shape as the mid-Atlantic trench. It's not a trench, it's a ridge. And I think that like when you pull pieces of pizza away from the center, you get residual cheese and crumbs, and that's the islands we see. But I don't really feel like the Richat structure was not the island of a drawer and surrounded by ocean. I don't really, maybe a little bit when it was being formed, but that would be pre-Atlantis. In my opinion, the ancient Taman Rasset River that runs along the north edge of the Eye of the Sahara that was a very big river, and that's why Plato called it a separate continent. According to the Chris Trollworthy video that I showcased, he explains it very clearly. But in addition to that, you also had an ancient canal system that pushed the water around the eye and through the eye. I mean, we're talking about the top part of the eye from one side to the other is like, it's like 200, 300, 400, 500 kilometers. And maybe not 500. It's about 150 kilometers from the bottom of the eye to the top. So how hard would it be to make canals? Anyways, I just talked for like a half hour, right? How long have I been talking? I'm going to stop this video. Thank you very much for your time. And I will do some new videos very soon. Thank you so much for your time. All 7 of you for hanging into the very end. It does mean something to me when I have this many viewers. And it does motivate me. As you can probably tell, I've been less than motivated. Thank you so much. Have a great day wherever you are. And remember that the chatting that happens during the live stream sometimes is hard to see. So if you want to get me to see a chat that I may have missed, put it in the main video. Yeah, and I'm losing my voice right now. I'm trying to avoid it. Thanks, Joe. Joey Boxer Rocks. Joey Boxer Rocks, where you at? Tell me in the below. I want to go. Bye-bye.